hindi kami nakita. My problem is, again, why only during budget period nakikita akong director namin? This is one thing, it is my partner. No? This is one thing I really don't like. Para mang yung pagkailangan ng tulong mo, papakita sa iyo. No? So, sana wag naman ganon. No? Oh, very simple lang yun. Wag lang ganon. Sana nakikita ko rin kahit paano. Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
Philippine experience mo.
Thank you very much, Representative Joboy Aquino. I now recognize Representative Javi Benitez.
Madam Chair and Madam Secretary, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Department of Tourism and the whole tourism family for a job well done, considering all the challenges in terms of in our transportation, in our infrastructure. You've brought in much revenue with about 750 billion, if I'm not mistaken, and has reached pre-pandemic levels. So first I'd like to ask, what is the role of the Department of Tourism when it comes to transportation and infrastructure?
The role of the Department of Tourism is largely limited to advocacy work, considering that the primary mandate to construct and fund tourism infrastructure in general is with the DPWH and with the DOTR as far as transportation is concerned. On the other hand, the TIEZA, being an attached agency of the Department of Tourism, is also working in close collaboration with the Department of Tourism in order that we may be able to provide tourism infrastructure interventions as necessary in the destinations that require it.
Madam Secretary, do you feel that it's unfair at times that when they say that it's primary because of the Department of Tourism that there's a lack of tourist arrivals in the country?
Well, we accept our role as our country's chief promoter and developer of tourism. But this role is by no means a one that is born only by the DOT. Because for tourism to work and to truly flourish, it does not just require funding, it also requires all the other elements of tourism, from infrastructure to connectivity, to safety and security, to visa facilitation and ease of entry, and many other requirements, all of which are completely outside the mandate of the Department of Tourism.
So, Madam Secretary, how did you and the Department of Tourism make these gains considering those challenges? And very good accomplishments at that.
With very great difficulty, but with much gratitude for the close collaboration that we have had with our fellow government agencies, our local government units, our regional offices, as well as our very, very supportive private sector partners. The work of tourism development is a collaborative one, and we have sought as much as we can to reach our hand of collaboration to as far as it can across our nation in order for tourism to thrive.
Madam Secretary, aside from the tourism infrastructure, I also want to go to the branding as was mentioned earlier. I always believe that what Mayor Bloomberg once said when he was president of the mayors in the United States of America he mentioned that for any new administration, you should invest in tourism because it brings in not only the cold cash, but it also invites better branding and promotions for your own locality and your own country. Madam Secretary, tourism is one of our highest multipliers. Each foreign visitor spends over 110,000 on average in a country. Yet, despite this, Madam Secretary, Congress has cut promotions budget from 1.2 billion in 2023 to 200 million in 2024, and further down to just 100 million this year. At the same time, our ASEAN neighbors are outspending us heavily in tourism promotion. So, with only 100 million in promotions, do you believe the department has enough resources in competing in attracting tourists, especially compared to other neighboring ASEAN countries that have high spending in branding and promotions?
No, Madam Chair, the Philippines is at a severe disadvantage.
So, Madam Secretary, given the tourism that brought in a record of 760 billion in receipts in 2024, isn't it a paradox that our branding budget is being cut to just a fraction of that 1%?
Yes, it is.
So if Congress restored your promotions budget, what kind of return of investments could we expect in arrivals and returns? Do you think that not only restoring but certainly increasing will yield enormous benefits for our country?
Yes, for every peso spent on tourism, the return is at 5 pesos and 50 centavos. And for the tourists that come in and around the country, they manage to benefit over 16.4 million Filipinos. And therefore, apart from giving us the opportunity to increase arrivals, increasing tourism investment will also give us the opportunity to increase our economic contribution to our country, as well as the opportunity to provide gainful livelihood to our fellow Filipinos.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I'd also like to commend the Department of Tourism as being part of the Tourism Champions Challenge. I believe it was such a great effort that you have done. As a former mayor of Victoria City, we were the fortunate recipient of the Tourism Champions Challenge. I believe not only in the province, but I believe in the region of Negros Island. So I'd like to thank you so much. Thank you for that, including Tiaza. Maraming salamat po. In Victorias, we have seen it certainly positively, and I'd like to thank you for coming to our city. I also want to share that the Negros Island region does not have any budget for tourism in the NEP for 2026. Madam Chair, I'd like to put that on record. Madam Secretary, do you believe that having a budget for tourism for the Negros Island region will benefit the newly created region where I'm from?
Yes. Madam Chair, we wish to clarify that the Department of Tourism actually proposed funding for the Negros Island region, but which was not approved by the DBM. With that, we are sourcing funds from our current year's allocations in order to provide support for NIR.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary. And I also believe that DBM has approved 15 plantilla positions for DOT. So we're hoping that gets operationalized. I believe the Negros Island region has such great promise and potential. On that note, I'd also like to thank Madam Secretary for fully supporting our Terra Madre. Siguro ipropromote ko na rin dahil nandito na rin tayo. Sa November 19 to 24, Madam Chair, we will be hosting an Asian slow food movement event, which will bring in the best chefs and mixologists. And I believe that tourism, international tourism, will put Bacolod not only on a local or domestic food map, but certainly an international one. So I'd like to last two on me. Alam ko medyo
Let's wrap up. Representative
itong,
Benitez.
malapit na mag good afternoon tayo. So I'd like to ask a question on maybe inquire about the present condition of the employees who were displaced from duty free as a result of its reorganization in 2023. Were all of them paid already, and have they received their due benefits?
Madam Chair, I'd like to yield the floor to the head of agency of Duty Free to answer the question.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you for the question. As to the status of the DFPC restructuring plan, out of the 491 that were separated, 406 of which have been paid already, while the remaining 84 employees were still waiting. They're still waiting for cases that they have a standing CSC appeal, while the others are waiting for the CSC decision on non-placement appeal of colleagues. And lastly, and the remaining they're waiting for the GSIS clearance. Once all those concerns has been addressed, the FPC is fully committed to settle the pending claims of the employees.
Thank you very much, Representative Harvey Benitez.
Sorry, Madam Chair. One last question.
Okay.
Last na. So as the committee chairman of the Special Committee on Creative Industries, Madam Secretary, I have to ask this. Alam natin na yung film tourism and creative tourism, especially sa South Korea, maraming napupuntahan ng mga locations, pati New Zealand for Lord of the Rings. Sa atin domestically, ang dating called Tadhana. Madam Secretary, meron ba tayong key strategies para sa ating film tourism dito sa bansa?
Madam Chair, so vast are the opportunities for film tourism development, and so important is it as a priority of the department that we have actually formed an office of film and sports tourism to focus on this priority program. With that, we are actively pursuing possible investors, producers, and the like for film tourism, ranging from our engagements with producers and filmmakers from Hollywood to our recent engagements with producers from Bollywood. At the same time, we're also working with the Film Development Council of the Philippines, with whom we have a MOA, as well as TIAZA, in order that the Create More Act, which lodges upon TIAZA the mandate to be a tourism investment agency, would provide opportunities for potential investors in film tourism to avail of the benefits of investing in the creative industries in the country, as long as they partner with a local producer. So this is an ongoing facilitation and collaboration on the part of the Department of Tourism.
Okay. Madam Secretary and the DOT family, maraming salamat po. Madam Chair, this representation would like to manifest that the Department of Tourism not only needs its budget restored, but certainly increased for the benefit of our nation. I believe that with what is going on amongst our ASEAN countries, this is a bright spot for the Philippines. So maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Javi Benitez, for your support for the increase of the budget of the Department of Tourism. I now recognize Deputy Majority Leader Marlene Agabas. I now recognize Vice Chair Roger Mercado.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I think this is the last interpellation that you will hear, because we will now terminate and approve your budget. So, before